Paving this shit crank.
I'm the man up in this piece. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Now, to crank this motherfucker up,
Turn this mother out.
Capitol Hill, Donald Trump. What can you say?
Well, a lot of times they saying like, called it a riot, protest. It wasn't neither one of them. It's insurgency, right?
Break down what insurgency means.
So
man,
basically, what it means is that you took a war type on a federal building. You took a war type approach to, be treasonous against one of our institutions. Now, I ain't gonna say my institution because, I laughed at it at first, right?
Right.
But when
It
they
is funny.
said,
It's funny, but it's
when
not
they
funny.
said 5 people died,
It wasn't funny.
that's heartbreaking because your president incited. And look, it's against the law to incite these type of things, right?
Supposed to put his ass in jail.
Right. But he incites it. First of all, the president, he called the rally when he knew this was going on. And then in the midst of the insurgency, he calling other senators to try to get them to prolong it. I mean, I think he doing this shit like his life depend on it. You know what I'm saying? And it might do. But with that said, this is white supremacy at its finest. So, first of all, it was the War 1812 was the last time anybody ever stormed the Capitol building. You see what I'm saying? And the thought of it being Americans that did it, especially who claim to be the most patriotic, you know what I'm saying? And then in contrast to Black Lives Matter, just having that same kind of thing in the way they treated them. So first of all, Homeland Security already knew that this kind of shit could happen.
Right.
Vandalizing stores and looting ain't the same as coming to kill and murder people. So that's violence intended, right?
Yeah.
So looting is not violence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's destruction of property. And I done told y'all before, the police, their whole job is to protect property. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what their job really is. A store get broken into, they steal your car. That's when police jump into action, right? But violence of that nature should have been met. The National Guard should have already been there, just based upon all the shit you've seen from all these Trump supporters.
Yeah.
So they said it was about 15,000 Trump supporters at this rally. And then he incites them to say, we're going to march. Then Rudy Giuliani said, we're going to have trial by combat. And then these fools march up there, and the police is maybe 100 police there for 5,000 insurgents, domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just
Sore
thinking-
losers.
I just think, remember when Cat said that?
Yeah,
About we was insurgents, right?
Right.
We ain't done nothing like that. I
So
feel you. Go
black
ahead.
people, we still marching, but it's something you gotta take.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say another angle that they have on this. They keep on saying, "Oh, millions of Americans." What about the millions of Americans, the majority that voted for Biden? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people who voted for Biden, that was a vote against Trump. You know what I'm saying? And once again, when they did that, bro, and when I was looking at that, I was like, okay, if we would have rushed them, it'd have been 100 dead niggas.
Easy.
And then they would have had some nigga up there talking about, hey, we didn't have no other choice
I was
but
gonna
to
say
kill
this,
him.
man. How do you get into the office? Did you see the one dude
Man,
sitting
boy,
up there with his feet?
kicked up,
Do you
feet
know?
up, like a paraplegic.
This nigga would have been laying there with 18 bullets in him.
Man, you'd have been murdered if you was a black man.
Look,
And that's
they running up the stairs and the police running from them.
And everybody said,
With
well,
the strap.
this isn't America. This is America. It's always been this double standard. Even the president-elect said, Biden, he was like, if them were black people, they would have been dead. They'd have been greedy. No way they'd have made it inside the Capitol, period.
So
You know
that
what
to
I'm
me,
saying?
that should just let America know y'all can't sugarcoat it no more. This showed you what it is. It's a difference when you're black, and like he said, with the white privilege or whatever it is.
Oh, it is that.
Yeah, because had it been, we don't even just say black, just people of color, it'd have been a lot more than 5 dead. No disrespect to the dead, because that's heartbreaking. Like
That's heartbreaking. A lawman died in, act of his duties, and they think they right. You know what I'm saying?
They just doing their job in their mind.
And like I said, a lot of people say, well, I think the laws, follow the laws of the land. It was once a law of the land that you was a slave, that you were property. It was once a law of the land that you couldn't even learn to read, learn how to count. That was the law of the land. So are all laws good?
Like my man Dick Gregory said, R.I.P. to another king. They got us brainwashed thinking legal means right.
Right.
That ain't what it is. Like he just said. At one time, slavery was considered legal. That's right.
And that's back to what we said. All this going hand in hand with what we said last week. Out of the first 60 Supreme Court justices, they were slave owners.
Yeah.
The first 12 amendments in the Constitution is affirmative action for white folks. So you got to say that's why it's looked upon differently. You know this for a fact. This how it's looked upon.
Like
you see what
said,
I'm saying?
When they say for the people, by the people, they mean white people.
We the white people. That's how it started. We the people, we the white people.
Yeah.
Don't
forget that part.
Every time I look at a nigga, the Constitution. I done heard Kamala Harris,
right.
Biden, Pelosi.
Burn that motherfucker.
You got to remember, it says you are three. They didn't say, okay, let's take this out. They keep that in there for a reason, man. They keep that in there for a reason.
You're fifths of a human.
Right. You've always had the right to vote. Like I said, the major thought in their mind is you their property. You beneath them. And you'll never be equal to them. And the hell that you didn't call under the American flag, I don't give a fuck about the Confederate flag. Because you got to understand, that was 160 years ago, right? Yeah. When that battle flag meant something. For the last 160 years, we've caught hell. Getting the right to vote didn't change nothing. Being segregated, it did not change nothing. The people that they show you on your television, right? Those people are a handful out of 44 million. So it's 44 million blacks in this country, right? Once again, I got to tell you, health is wealth. We only have 1% of the wealth. There's only 13% of wealth that's available. The other 87% is locked into institutions that they won't let you become a part of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no black man that's gonna ever own, a tobacco company, ever.
Right.
A pornographic company, because Player was not owned by a black, just for you suckers who think.
Yeah.
Anything that has that negative connotation, and when you look at them rushing the Capitol like that, and them police was squabbing them, police came out swinging on them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's one captain, I was like, shit, he got some hand. Captain dipped back, bam, hit the dude. Another fool ran up, boom, hit the fool. I was like, shit, look at that captain.
Right.
Kick his ass, hell yeah. And that's just what we're going about saying, man, that it's a double standard. They don't look at it like, you know what I'm saying, this is, you know what I'm saying, your country and mine, you my brother,
no.
Even though it's of another mother. And I'm not saying all people, I'm just saying institutionally how it's looked upon. Yes. Black people got to understand everything is legislated in this country. And those laws that's on the book, that's what's on the book. And the Constitution that y'all defend says you 3/5 of a human being. And the only reason I keep coming back to that is because you always find some black person swearing by the Constitution. This is the greatest nation. For white people. And everybody else, you got to understand, when they came into the country, were considered white, long as you wasn't black. You know what I'm saying? Even Hispanics. Now you see they have non-Hispanic or Hispanic, white, Hispanic, white, non-Hispanic, even on the census.
And let me say this too. This goes into, it ain't by Trump, but this goes into Trump. Ted Cruz, you a damn fool.
Well, that's what I'm going to get into. So they treasonous traitors. Not only did they, Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, they turned their back on Trump,
Yeah.
right? But they really had turned their back on the people talking about the election was stolen, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these fools coming there and the police are taking selfies. So it looked like an inside job, right?
Definitely, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Stage, set up, whatever you want to call it.
And that all goes back to, like I said, just like the Civil War, you can't hate poor white men who never owned slaves, who didn't do any legislation, didn't have the right to vote. You got to understand, before the Civil War, only white landowners had the right to vote. These people didn't own any land. The people who was dying for the South, the Confederacy, in the war were poor white men.
They was niggas too.
If you own 5 slaves, you didn't even have to go to war. They didn't own no slaves. You see what I'm saying? Because they was poor. Because slaves cost money. It's the same thing that happened in every other war that we've ever had. You know, whether it be the draft or black kids in small towns sending it the way out to today. Rich white men don't send their kids to enlist. If you gonna go and you rich, you gonna be an officer, son.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't
no
gonna never see
on the front line.
Yeah, you ain't gonna never see no war.
Combat or war, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, you know, it's poor people going fight rich people war. That's classism. That's not racism. But as a tool of white supremacy, they use racism to control the classes. And he riled these people up in that rally, and they went go do what he wanted them to do. Like they said, he was reveling.
Yeah.
He was loving what was going on.
Like they
and
use fancy words to cover up that bullshit.
with them broad terms, you know what I'm saying? They try to make you feel like, well, you're here and everybody else is here. But now y'all underneath us because y'all getting used. Like I say, white supremacy is an ideology. It's not the color of your skin, fool. But y'all believe it's that.
They done fooled
y'all think, even white supremacists, poor white men, think this mean them. This don't mean you, you ignorant son of a bitch.
And let me say this, Trump, your ass need to be in jail.
But
need to do some type of fed time.
For this exact same thing, right? This exact same thing, you know, this woman wrote a book. It's called 400 Years of White Trash. And that explains how classism works, how white supremacy works. You should read this book since y'all very confused. Y'all think y'all got a leg up because the police ain't killing y'all. They the same poor white trash as you. You see what I'm saying? They not gonna kill you. They'll kill us.
Yeah. Because
they think our life is worth even less than theirs.
Yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the point. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, these supremacists been going into Walmart. They've been going all kind of places, open fire, killing people.
Domestic terrorists. That's a great word for it.
And those actions, they get played down by the media.
Yeah.
See, I've always agreed with Trump. The media is fake news because they always been painting black people in a bad light. Always.
Always.
You see what I'm saying? They treat us like we some big kind of nothing. So the story is dispelled totally different, right? It fucked them up. And the reason why the BLM movement got so much attention is because young white kids share the same culture as young black kids, and they were out there marching too.
Yeah.
Because look, people saying wrong is wrong now. They ain't wearing the rose-colored glasses talking about white is right, no matter how.
Skin color don't matter. Right and wrong. Two different things.
Right. And the thing about the Trumpers is anytime you try to reason with them, they'll go to something else. Like yesterday, right? I was on YouTube watching something made a comment.
Right.
So I got like 50 comments under that comment.
Right.
24 likes, but 50 comments.
Yeah.
And people are saying stuff like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these people left the Trump rally. That's a fact. They went to the Capitol. That's a fact. 5 people got killed. That's a fact. These are just facts. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, the government ain't have nothing to do to it. Yeah, it was an inside job. This is a plot being played on those same stupid, ignorant, white, poor white trash. And like I said, Lindsey Graham, you know what I'm saying? You're a complacent son of a bitch. And you deserve all those attacks that you are getting. Ted Cruz trying, I disagree with the president for 4 years. You've been riding his coattails
Man,
Like
you're a damn fool.
You think you gonna be president, man? They not finna let no Cuban into the presidency. You a goddamn fool, boy. I don't know what's wrong with it. I think his real name is Rolando.
Yeah,
but he
said,
Ted,
fool,
call
man.
me Ted. Man, your name is Rolando.
And you know, Shannon, I was thinking about this also, man. Do they understand the ramifications of how we look to other countries? We're laughing stock.
But that's why, that's another thing, because the goody two shoes Democrats, right?
Yeah.
So they saying if we do put Trump in jail, right? Say we put Trump in jail, what's that's gonna look like to these other nations with a former
president
sitting in jail? So I think that's gonna be very hard to put them in jail just based off of that sentiment. And because, like I said, white supremacy is very strong in this country.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's just swap, just for hypothetically speaking, so you can prove my point for me. What if that had been Obama instead of Trump? Would they put him in jail? I'm
going to tell you something that's going to trip you out. You know?
Yeah.
Which I ain't going to say where I got it from. I'm not going to disrespect the oath I took. But the presidency is still, you know what I'm saying, a monarchy.
For sure.
All presidents have been related except JFK. And I'm thinking maybe Gerald Ford, and that's only because he's vice president.
Right.
But the lineage,
yeah, for sure, I'm here,
have all been of the same family.
Yeah, related.
So they all blue bloods.
Right.
And you're like, what? Yes, all of them.
Yeah.
And every president except JFK have belonged to that secret society. Even Gerald Ford.
Right.
Since George Washington on down.
For sure.
So, I mean, it's just like this, right? When I was married, right?
Yeah.
We used to go to the store, right? And she said, I want you to come and pick out this furniture with me.
Right.
And she was like, you want that one or you want that one? What real chance I have?
Right.
You know, I'm not picking out what I like. I'm picking between two things that you like.
Yeah.
But that was that mind game being played on me, right?
Right.
The same is going on in all our elections. Okay. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you the basis for it. So, like I said, they acting like black people getting in there. Us.
Yeah.
But it ain't, because DNC got a rule. DNC is rooted in the South.
Yeah.
Them Democrats, when they took over post, Reconstruction, they said, well, let us handle the niggas. We got more experience with them. Yeah. And these Northerners that we held so high, they say, cool.
Yeah.
Y'all go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? So, in American history, go from the Civil War, and then your history book probably jump right into the Great Depression. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
It's almost 100 years different than that. Yeah. They never talk about Reconstruction.
No doubt. That's missing, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And during that Reconstruction time, 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. And why is that? You already had the right to vote as a citizen. Yeah. You had the freedom of speech as a citizen. Freeing the slaves made you a full-blooded citizen. Yeah. It should have been changed, but that's why they killed Lincoln. Yeah. And look, the Civil War wasn't fought to free slaves. That's another fucking misconception that niggas got. Oh, they died for us. I was watching Glory the other day. Yeah. Died for you, fool. You remember Morgan Freeman? Yeah. And I was like, no, that ain't. This was about control of commerce, control of, because the South was rising for the simple fact they had all the free labor. Yeah. And that sweat, that free labor built Wall Street. Wall Street is made up of, from slavery, the first thing traded on Wall Street was niggas. Right. You know what I'm saying? You built it. Yeah. All these institutions, these colleges, Harvard, Yale.
Off of niggas' backs.
Off of niggas' back. They weren't only built, the funding came from that. Y'all got to understand the history of this country to understand that, these institutions were built upon you as property. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, in order to reline that, to be able to tax, you know what I gave immigrants free acres of land when they stepped off the boat and gave them acres for each nigga that they own? Why? Because they taxed the land. Look, I own my house outright. Right. Every year I pay $13,000 in taxes and insurance. Right. Every fucking year. Right?
Right.
So even owning my house, I never own it because I got to pay these. If I ain't got that tax money, they'll come and take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, because you're in Texas, there are certain homestead laws that can buy you time.
Yeah.
But it
They'll
can buy you
come take it,
forever.
yeah.
They gonna come get it
take that over,
eventually. Because the country is these institutions gonna always outlive you, always. So this is why you say this is the free country. The more shit you learn, the more you know you don't know shit. You know. So I never think of myself as enlightened or woke as people be saying, because I keep reading. I'm like, damn.
So the bottom line is this: don't be surprised. Probably gonna get worse before it get better.
Oh, it's gonna be more violence because this is what our country is built off of, right?
It's civil war coming.
It's hard to say.
Right.
It's hard to say, but like I said, if civil war do come, it will be the poor fighting the poor,
not the black
and the
rich,
rich,
the white,
and the rich people sitting back and watching.
Right.
Because it was a brother that was in the Capitol.
Yeah.
Nigga had his head to the back. I was like, that nigga Plant, man, what the hell you doing there, nigga? Man, well, I'm gonna tell your mom, nigga,
Right.
you tripping. You know what I'm saying?
And for the
Because,
record, we said it. It's an inside job, y'all.
man, this is like political theater as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you say, well, why would they do that? This is all like, I'm showing you the left
Wag
hand.
the dog.
All the magic going on over here. They probably robbing us blind. It's probably bills that they didn't push through. It's something like that.
Yeah.
But it's about confusion, y'all. And don't ever get it twisted. It's about confusion. And Trump was placed there for this very reason. You know what I'm saying? You think
Yes.
your vote really matter? Do you think your vote matter? Now, I'm not talking locally. Because locally, it probably does. It's more integrity in the
Talking
local
about
election.
nationally.
But nationally, do you think it really matters?
This is calculated chaos, y'all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly what we said last time. And I'm not surprised if by January 17th, it get much worse. That Sunday going to be the motherfuckers. They already said it.
Yeah, you see, Trump said he ain't going to the inauguration.
And the Pentagon have said they're not releasing the National Guard. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? This is all
Biden,
a perfect storm.
Biden, I hope they don't rush up on there and do something to you, dog.
But no, they don't want to kill. I don't think. But hey, I want to be shot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I think he probably the safest president, because that black bitch sitting behind him. No
Right.
disrespect. That's how they think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not finna let that nigger bitch be the president.
Right.
You know, we already got handicapped with one of them.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But you got to understand the intent. A lot of y'all calling yourself Democrats. Democrats don't do shit for niggas ever.
Show us.
I mean, just point one
Let's
time.
go back 50 years, because
Supreme Court
Look.
don't do shit for niggas ever. The biggest mistake we did is integrating. But look, what's done is done. So moving forward, you have to think, I got to build my community. I'm not giving my vote unless you doing something for me. That's the whole principle behind supporting a candidate. It's what they impeached Trump for.
I forget.
You know, it's you rub my back, I rub your back, you rub mine. You know, I'm sure somebody watching gonna be like, damn, old dumbass nigga. It's something per quote. It's like, I give to you, you give to me. I just can't think, I know what it is. So basically, that's what, like they say, you either buy a candidate or you rent one. They'll be holding to the people who fund their campaign.
Yeah.
Every single person. You know what I'm saying? Just like Joe Biden, let's just take him. You think he wanted Kamala Harris? You seen how she tore his ass up through the presidential debate when they was trying to get nominated for the president?
Yeah.
She tore his ass alive. He didn't want her, but he owed black women. Because from the caucus in South Carolina, he wasn't even going to be the candidate. They brung him back out alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Black women.
Resuscitated his ass.
From Stacey Abrams to Kamala Harris to Susan Rice, who I thought should have been, but she must not have had the clout. They the one that did that. So you got to always remember this, man. I mean, don't be a fool for the sucker tag. If you do something for me, you owe me, motherfucker.
Yeah, ain't
You
nothing
know,
free.
As simple
It's
as
cliche, but it's the fucking
that. I mean,
truth.
that's the business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I just want to reestablish what you said, man, about. And I ain't knocking y'all because my mama, my mama's mama, her mama have all been Democrats. But I just ask y'all, like we were saying earlier, look back over the last 50 years, our generation, what has being a Democrat done for you?
I mean, and they'll say the civil rights, right?
Yeah.
And that is like the worst. First of all, the man who signed into law, forced into it, was what shouldn't even been the president, right? Because JFK got killed.
Right.
He become the president, right? He signed that into law, right? Didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Heavy on the word nigga. He from Texas.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Heavy on the word nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I think we think this rhetoric makes you racist, right? But Trump said it all along. Look, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna manipulate who I gotta manipulate. I don't think he racist at all. I think he a rich white man who manipulates poor white people because y'all easily manipulated. Y'all not thinking past. Y'all falling for the lies. Even every argument I have about this, they always falling for the lies.
Yeah.
They re-quoting stuff that you can see with your own eyes. The man said that he called in, and I'm gonna kind of give, Mike Pence a small little shout out. Because he the one called in the National Guard and the police.
Yeah.
And Trump said, I called in, and then he denounces y'all after he told y'all to go and raid the Capitol.
Yeah.
This sorry son of a bitch, well, nigga, we was looking out for you. Hey, y'all know how this shit works.
Don't stand down, stand by.
I mean, and that's just rhetoric. He don't give a fuck.
Right.
And that's what I keep telling y'all. He don't give a fuck. But that shit was outlandish.
Beautiful people.
I mean, that's right. And I love you. And y'all very special.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And look, if you would support me, shit, you'd be very special, and I'd love you too. If you was helping push my agenda. He gonna start some more shit, man. I think it's two things left to happen to Trump. I don't think he going to jail. I think they're gonna exile him or they gonna murder him.
Right.
It's gonna be one of the two. Cause they rather deal with
That's
that.
what we saying gonna happen to him, not us. We ain't gonna murder him.
Yeah. I don't even want to murder.
Yeah.
I love the entertainment of that nigga. Be honest with you.
We gonna miss him on that
shit.
tip, man. He has
You know
been,
what I'm saying?
He's the most entertaining president
Because he
thus
doesn't
far.
govern. He's playing a role.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See, every president coming there, they dead serious. In a small note, just to let y'all know, I hold everybody accountable. I'm gonna put a small note on this. So, Colin Powell, right? A lot of black people say, oh, even though he's Republican, he's respected. He's a 4-star general, blah, 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 right?
Secretary of Defense, yeah,
Right.
for sure. Yeah.
He is the one that initiated the murder of 2 million human beings for vengeance. Dig that. Bush whole administration are war criminals that will never be brung up on it. But they murdered 2 million people for nothing but vengeance. And when you look at that, and they did regime change, kingdom building, all the evil shit that you can do as a government. You see what I'm saying? And we frowned upon Donald Trump for 4 years, right? That he was the asshole. He was an asshole. Wasn't a warmonger. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He wasn't a lot of shit. He got a lot of shit done that he can't even take credit for because he's so stupid. Because what he wants is to be a king, a dictator,
That's
an
what I'm saying.
aristocrat.
That's really like a dictatorship. What he
Right,
doing.
that's what he want to be.
I
But
say
this not
this.
America.
He gonna have a career though. You right? Look, you think that in about 4 to 10 years it won't be a movie about his presidency?
Well, movies don't make no money for
No,
them.
but you know what I'm saying? They're gonna have
what
movies
really
about
gonna
it,
be is
TV series.
he gonna still control the Republican Party. And look, man, just based off of him saying they stole the election, this man raised $300 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He finna go buy him a house out of that money. Yeah, he a grifter. It's a con.
Yeah.
But when you have people so devoted to you, the same shit with Hitler. He had people so devoted to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The Proud Boys.
And all these people ain't proud boys.
Yeah.
They just fucking ignorant. And a lot of people, you don't want to be educated. They used to say you wanted to hide something from a nigga put it in a book.
Right.
But it's really poor people. Because poor people so focused on their problem, they ain't got time to educate themselves like they should.
They call
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I refer back, education never equals wealth, so why would they? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they were way out of line. You know, this
It was
is
embarrassment. And
it really wasn't embarrassment to me.
no, I'm saying
You know
to
what
the
I'm
country.
saying? But look, let me tell you something, man. You know, I got to quote Reverend Wright on this, right?
Right.
So Obama distanced himself from Reverend Wright when he said this, but he was right. God damn, America. But he was saying like, God damn, how much shit y'all gonna pull and just think, you know, we gonna be ignorant to the fact.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? The election rig, he started in on that shit. And then, you know, it's over, you know, half the GOP that was supporting that when he was saying it. After the insurgency, they still had people, they had 130 House representatives that voted against that shit. I mean, you know, you just gotta look at that and say, God damn, they just came to kill y'all. And y'all still in there talking about, yeah, it was a rigged election. They know it ain't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they come back and they was like, okay, they said prisoners voted. You know, Lindsey Graham said, they told me hundreds of prisoners voted. I said, well, look, just give me 10. They couldn't give them one. They said dead people voted, right?
Right.
He said, well, just give me 10. They found 2 that voted Republican in Philadelphia, right?
Right.
Here in Arizona. You know, they said they had fraudulent ballots. He said, just bring me 10. They had 0. See, like I said, this man don't want legal power because, look, I think either Russians gonna get his ass or it's something to do with his life.
Yeah.
Because he want that whole, because he don't want to do the job. He want the power.
Yeah, you're in the
protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't lose. You lost, dog.
So, but who really lose is the American people, his supporters, and the Republican Party. That's who really, but as a whole, the country gonna lose because we gonna stay divided. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what that could lead to is what you were saying, a civil war, or you know, just a separation of values between Americans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that clash, you know, like I said, a lot of people, Democrats especially, like to say like we got more in common than we got apart. And that may be true, but that's just being a human being. The biggest thing is that they say this ain't America. This is America.
This what it looked like.
Remember Rosewood, rich men sending poor men in there, killing a whole community. Black Wall Street, the same antithesis. The rich white men arm poor white men to go in and do their dirty work. Because these niggas was rivaling them and may have been richer than them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that ego shit with white men, I swear to God. And look, my cousin Terrence used to say it again. We ain't nothing but white men masquerading as black men because we don't have our own culture. Everything we were taught is
By
on this
white
goddamn
man.
television
Right.
and this goddamn book. So what's the use of your education? You know, they was like, pay reparations in education. So, okay, you want to pay for my education to be educated by my oppressor. Man, get the fuck out of my face. Man, I mean, fuck Trump, you dirty for that shit you do. I don't think you racist. You an opportunist and a class A manipulator and a miscreant. And that's what you are. You not racist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Many niggas you hang out with. Look, when he was just Donald Trump, that nigga hung out with every nigga.
Yeah.
I mean, from Mike Tyson to rappers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still hanging out with rappers. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That shit is game. You know, and Too Short said it better. Game is the shit. Like, what?
Right.
A redhead bitch. Yeah, man.
So, yeah. It is what it is. Bet that, y'all.
Bet, man. Y'all be careful.